Right. Testing. All right, we're good. I mean, it has to be absolutely mental, man. It has to be absolutely mental for you to be in Qatar right now and people all over the world are screaming your name. Like, it has to be unimaginably mental. Like, Messi is basically a god. As in, I've mentioned this book before, American Gods, like by Neil Gaiman, right? And the book basically talks about how the old gods, that's like Zeus, Demeter, Thor, Krishna, basically the Christian god, how these guys are like basically trying to fight the new gods, because the new gods being music, being sports, being technology, being consumerism, because they are losing their worshippers to these new gods, right? People no longer really subscribe to the old gods, so people are now more in tune. Now people are now more focused on these new goals like celebrity, like fucking technology, like I just mentioned before. So that's basically what the book is talking about. And one of the one of the most this is not in the book, by the way, but this is just my observation. This is what I've come to realize. One of the craziest, if not the most profound and unifying and connecting and humanistic religion that humans have been able to successfully create and integrate into society, and like allow it to just naturally sprout and spread and just touch everybody in some way, in some shape, or in some form, is the religion of sports. Like, there is what tell me something else. Tell me something else that we humans practice in this our reality that can connect everybody regardless of their belief system, regardless of their race, regardless of their religion, regardless of their age or gender or whatever. Tell me something else that can just bring everybody and just make everybody so unified and so connected and so celebratory, and so like what's the word, so fucking um emotional as sports, especially soccer. Like, soccer is like, I don't know, soccer is one of the greatest inventions of humanity. Even though me personally, I don't I don't know anything about soccer. I don't really follow football like that. I don't know. I've never really been interested in like football, because to me, well, many people are different, right? Many people have their vices and their things that they are subscribed to, things that they are interested in. But for me, I'm not really as interested as everybody else in soccer. I'm not really a sports guy or a sports fan, but I get it. I get the love for soccer, because right now the World Cup just ended and literally everyone is screaming Messi's name. Like, every single person. Like, if you can hear outside my window, I don't even want to like do that. If you can hear outside my window, bro, everybody is screaming Messi's name. And that has that carries energy. Like, imagine the whole world right now screaming your name, one person's name. That you're basically a god. Like, you're basically a god. Like, you've brought so much joy and so much happiness and so much emotion and so much, giving people so much to look up to and so much to be inspired by, right? Because of your actions, because you just won. Like, this is basically religion. This is what religion, the contemporary organized religion, this is what they die for. This is what they've been clamoring for. This is what they've been struggling for centuries now to try to achieve. For people to wholeheartedly, for people to unanimously, for people to like genuinely scream the name of whatever deity that that they subscribe to, for people to be genuinely happy. Imagine people just screaming your name. Just It's just crazy, bro. I mean, I'm just thinking about this thing and it's like driving me crazy. People are screaming Messi's name because of what he has done for them. and everybody's going. And it's not like it's going to change much in their lives, but it's just going to bring for just like a day or two, or even a week self. For the rest of the year, actually, it's going to bring so much joy to people's lives because Argentina just won the 2022 World Cup, and that's fucking mental. And some people don't even some people don't even like the fact that Argentina won the World Cup because, for example, my if a colleague of mine, he doesn't like the fact that Argentina just won the World Cup because to him, the Argentinians are racist and they are prejudiced towards black people, and so. But at the end of the day, that's not the fucking issue. That nobody cares about that for now. For now, and anyway, nobody cares about that. What everybody is looking at right now, what everybody is just being happy about and focused on right now, what everybody is going to be talking about for like probably the end of the year is the the World Cup and how this fucking World Cup was so I've actually heard that this World Cup was the best that's the best World Cup that has been for a while now. This World Cup is the best because it was so unpredictable. I remember when the World Cup started, some of my friends were talking about how they are going to, like bet on the games because they feel like the World Cup is easier to bet on because they already know the countries that are stronger than they already know the strongest countries like say Germany, Argentina, or I don't really know. And so then this World Cup started and the countries that they bet on started losing and people started losing a lot of money and stuff. Like I already talked about this before, right? So yeah, so this World Cup has been unpredictable and enjoyable for the people that's focused on it and the people that followed it through to the end. So yeah, congratulations to the winners and congratulations to the worshippers of soccer because there is no other religion like soccer. There is nothing else there is nothing else that humanity has produced that can unify people this much like soccer. I cannot think of anything else. People, I mean, the World Cup was hosted in one of the most conservative, one of the most close-minded countries in the world, right? Everybody, regardless of the morals and the principles and the philosophies of the country, Qatar, and regardless of how many people that died building the stadiums and making things comfortable the for the what they call them uh the tourists that come to the country, regardless of all of that, people still as in people didn't mind it as much as they're supposed to mind because of the power of soccer, right? So I cannot think of anything that can unify people as much as soccer. Probably music, right? But I'm not going to say music because there are some kinds of music that everybody has their own taste in music. Everybody has different tastes in music. And so there are some kinds of music that some people from one part of the country or one part of the world might not like. You understand? Like, for example, I don't think that many people in Qatar or let's say many people in the Middle East or whatever would like, let me say, Western music. Or even though I think I saw um like I think I saw a clip of one of these Nigerian musicians' song being played in the stadium. I don't know his name, but I think I remember. Okay, for example, now me, I'm not really. I've said this before. I'm not really that into Nigerian music because most. Let's not talk about that. I don't want to sound so pretentious. I don't want to sound so pretentious and so, you know, exempt from. I don't like being that person. But what I'm just going to say is that I'm not really that into Nigerian music. But to go back to my earlier points, what I'm trying to say is that music is not as unifying as what's it called, as sports, as soccer, because many people have their own fucking many people have their own taste in music. But what I'm going to say about music is that it has its own music is its own separate thing, right? So, um, for example, now there is this thing called earworms. That is one of the things I don't like about music. When you know how like you hear a song and you hear a song for the first time, and then you like the song, and then you listen to the song for like a few times, and then you go on about your day, and but then the song gets stuck in your head, and it keeps like playing over and over in your head. It's called earworms, right? That's one of the most annoying things that can happen to, like, I don't I fucking hate earworms, man, because they're so fucking annoying. And then you there is no cure for earworms. The best that can happen is just for you to like just just let it pass. I don't know if there's any cure for earworms, but the best I can do when it happens to me is just like keep myself busy until, and it's even worse when you like keeping yourself busy or doing something, or just being engaged in something. That's when it now like attacks you the more, and then you keep the song in your head keeps playing over and over. And I don't know if it happens to anybody else as intensely as it happens to me. I don't know, but yeah, that's one of the fucking things that happens. That's one of the things I hate about music. But what I'm going to say is that maybe it's because of the way music makes us feel, right? Let me try to let me try to deep dive into this theory that I have. All right, so you know how like I think I've kind of figured something out. The why we humans are so addicted to music. Why we humans are so um like, should I say, why music makes us feel the way we feel, right? Doesn't matter if it's gospel music, if it's hip hop, if it's R&B, pop, whatever, Afro beats or whatever, because everybody has their own taste in music, right? But at the end of the day, music makes us feel something. Music makes us feel a lot of ways, and I think I have a theory for that. So, um, you know how, I don't know if anybody knows about, obviously sound has frequencies, right? Like different sounds have different vibrations and different frequencies. So that's why radio has different channels. I don't know if I'm if I'm getting that correct, if I'm getting that right. So that's why radio has different channels. But everything, like for example, now let me start from here. We humans are one of the only animals on this planet that that have different recognizable faces. Like for example, now aside from the, let's say, let me use dogs as an example. Aside from the fact that dogs have, like, let me say, some dogs, they are different, they are obviously so many breeds of dogs, right? And some of those breeds of dogs have recognizable patterns, right? So apart from that, dogs basically, like for example, now if you bring a bunch of golden retrievers into a room, like, they basically all look the same, right? They basically all look the same. If you bring a bunch of monkeys, put them in a room, they basically all look the same. If you bring a bunch of rats or cockroaches, they basically all look the same. But if you bring a bunch of humans, you can see that they have different faces, different sizes, different height. So humans are one of the only animals that are distinguishable from each other. In fact, we have races. Let's not even go into races, because sometimes we all know this stereotype of how fucking Asians look alike. But But I can also say the same thing about Caucasians, and I can also say the same thing about Africans. Like every race looks alike to them, to themselves. So that's the same way that uh everything on this, let's not say everything. What I'm trying to say is that where am I even going with this? What I'm trying to say is that we humans have the ability to try to distinguish things. In fact, if you think of it, right, there is nothing on this earth, or should I say, there is nothing on this earth that does not have a name, or does not have something that it can be called by, right? Like we give names to every single thing because this is what we humans do. We try to like give meaning to things. We try to like personalize things, right? So we give them names so that we can be able to recognize them instantly. Even let's say let's say you buy a car, right? Let's say you buy a car. Let's say you buy a red BMW, right? A red BMW with black alloy wheels, and let's say you give it a little bit of personalization, right? Like let's say you modify it a little bit. Let's say you put front spoilers, and then like sorry, yeah, what am I trying to say? Let's say you put a little bit of like you try to modify it by putting like spoiler, like wings, and then let me see LED lights and stuff, just to like make it your own, right? Front bumpers and stuff like that. Now this BMW has become your own, but let's let's not even like modify this hypothetical BMW. Let's not modify. Let's just keep it stock, right? Let it look like every other BMW, red BMW on the road. And let's say you give this, let's say you give this BMW to a friend to like let's say drive and go pick up somebody or something, and then you're waiting for him to come back and like pick you up or something like that. uh you're going to recognize, even if like 100 other red BMWs pass, you might be alerted by the fact that those other BMWs are red, right? But if you see your own, you're going to obviously recognize, you're going to instantly and obviously recognize that that particular BMW is your own. It's the same thing with pets. Like you can, if you have a pet, and let's say you have a basic golden retriever, right? And then you send your pets to like dog park where other dogs are, like other pets are. You can instantly recognize your pets. So we humans have that ability to be able to recognize things instantly. So it's the same thing with let's say it's the same thing with sounds, right? Sounds have, like every single sound that we make, every single sound that our ears are able to pick up, even the ones that our ears are incapable of picking up, right? Every single sound has a distinct frequency and has its own personal vibration. I don't know if you guys if you guys are aware of that. Like every single sound. By the way, before I continue with my points, right? I don't know if, because there is a way I usually look at our reality. I don't know if anybody else looks at. I don't know if anybody else thinks of it the way I think of it. There's a way I usually look at our reality. I feel like one of the let me say one of the theories, not even my own theory, one of the theories that um people people that are a lot more intelligent than I am have come up with concerning our reality here on earth and why we are here and what we're doing here is the brain in the vat theory. Like for example, the theory of that our reality is actually a simulation, like a computer simulation, which makes a certain considerable amount of sense if you think about it. Like, who is to say that everything around us right now, everything that is going on in our reality now, who is to say that it's not some kind of cosmic video game where our planet is basically a sandbox. Just like, let's say for example, now if you play GTA or Red Dead Redemption or any open world game, you know how for I don't know, for people who play video games, you understand what I'm talking about, right? Like any open world game, like say GTA Online now. Let's just use GTA Online as the perfect example. You log in, you create your character, you do missions, you do things, you buy your cars, you buy your clothes, you build your house, you like take care of your business, stuff like that. Sims, let's use Sims as the perfect example. If anybody that plays Sims, right, will know what I'm saying. You create your character in Sims, you you work your way up, you buy a house, you if you're a male, you try to like hit on females and try to like start a relationship, and if you succeed, you can get married, you can give birth to children, you can have your hobbies, you can have your job, you can die, you can like there's so many things that happen in Sims, like so many things happen in Sims. So who is to say that our reality right now on this earth is not some cosmic simulated reality? It's not some video game that some higher beings are playing. Like who is to say that you right now listening to this podcast is not a character in a video game played by some cosmic being that enjoys listening to some other cosmic beings characters podcasts? I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. So who is to say that that's not what's going on, right? That is very very possible that our reality can be a simulation. And why I'm saying this is because I've noticed some things in this our reality that don't really add up. Like for example, if you're playing GTA, right? If you're playing GTA, like this is what I've noticed in GTA. If you're playing GTA online and you enter a helicopter, every single helicopter has the same sound. I don't know if you've played the game, you understand what I'm talking about. Every single helicopter, if it's like an attack helicopter, if it's like the Buzzard, if it's like the Chinook, or let me say you're flying a fucking war helicopter, all of them all have the same sounds. So the conclusion from that is that the developer of the people that were creating the helicopters in the game may have been too lazy to give every helicopter its own distinct sound. So it always bugs me when fucking I'm flying helicopters in GTA and they all like have the same sounds. Like then why am I buying different helicopters, right? So it always bugs me. So that's one thing I've noticed in GTA. Another thing I've noticed in GTA is that some cars, like let's say muscle cars, right? If you're driving a muscle, in fact, all muscle cars in GTA have the same sound. So they just use one sound for every muscle car, and it fucks with me. I don't like it. So I've noticed that in GTA. Now let me tell you what I've noticed in real life. Some smells have the same smells, have the same have the same smell. Some smells of some things have the same smell as other things. Let me try to remember. Let me try to remember if I can think of any smell right now that I've smelled before. Then that which then it smelled like something else. Like for example, now let's say you enter a room, or let me say I enter a room, and the room smells like how do I put it now? The room smells like, let me say something like let me say the one that I think I mean, it has happened to all of us, right? It has happened to so many of us at one point in time. Like you enter a room, and then the room smells like something that you can recognize, and you're like, somebody's cooking stew, or somebody's eating African salad here. And then you look for African salad and you don't see African salad. Or let me say you're walking and then you hit something and then it makes the same sound that say something like hitting a pan, like an aluminium pan would make. Right? Let's say you hit the wall and it makes the same sound that like hitting an aluminium pan would make. Or let's say you 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 look at something and for 1 microsecond it looks like something else, and then it turns and then it changes and looks like what it's supposed to look like, right? I mean, even this, like for example, now you can stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself for a considerable amount of time, and then you start to know, or you can even look at somebody that you are acquainted with, let's say a friend or like a partner or something. You look at them and and for 1 second you realize that, oh, this person, I know this person, and I'm acquainted with this person, I'm friends with this person. But then here is an experiment that I can do. If you just sit down and then continuously, and then you continue looking at the person, you will start noticing that the person will start changing. Like the person's face will change, the person's feature. You start noticing features that you've never seen before. You start noticing that, oh, this person is different. And then after a while, this person will look. I don't know if it happens to every other person, but I'm just trying to tell you guys what I experience, right? And then you notice that this person is different. Like what you thought, or who you thought you what you thought you what you thought this person looked like is absolutely not true. Like this person is entirely different from what you're used to. So that's just what why I think that we're in a simulation, because apparently the cosmic developers of this our reality that we call Earth may have been too lazy to give I mean, they tried, like every single thing can be recognizable. Every single thing has its own distinct smell and distinct sound and distinct shape. Even though some things look like some other things, right? Every single thing on our planet has is unique in its own way. But sometimes we find little errors in reality where some things smell like other things, some things taste like other things, and some things look like other things for 1 second, and then they look back, they turn back to how they originally are supposed to look like and smell like and taste like. So based on all of this, like I said before, um that's why I kind of feel like we humans are in a simulation. And to tie this all back to my initial thoughts about music and vibrations and how music makes us feel, sound, right? Musical sounds are very distinct and very unique. Like every single sound actually has its own unique vibration and has its own unique frequency. Every single sound that can be made. So these sounds are called cymatic sounds. Cymatic fucking these sounds are called um what? Cymatic patterns. Yeah. Sorry. So these sounds are called cymatic patterns. So what exactly do I mean by cymatic patterns? Right? I don't know if you've seen videos of where someone like pours fine sand on a table, right? Someone pours fine sand on the table, and then he puts like a speaker under the table and starts playing sounds. And so the vibrations from the speaker would make the fine sand on the table create like a pattern, and then he changes the sound, and then the vibrations will make the sound. He changes the sound that he's playing, and then the vibrations on the fucking tape on the vibrations now make the vibrations coming from the speaker will make the sound change into different patterns. So what I'm trying to say is that these cymatic patterns uh, are created because of the vibrations coming from the sounds. Obviously, that's the point of the whole thing. So that's the same thing that happens to we humans, because of the fact that, okay, sound waves are obviously intangible and what was it called, if is it ephemeral, was it like, for example, fire, we can't touch fire, but fire is like ephemeral, right? Is that the right word? I don't I don't know if it's the right word, but sound waves are obviously ethereal, right? That's what I'm looking for. Ethereal. And we humans are obviously solid, right? So, and sand is solid. So when these sound waves hit this solid pattern, it creates this solid matter. It creates patterns, and it creates things that are just visually beautiful to look at. So I feel like this is my theory. I feel like I feel like we humans um react. How do I put it? We react to these sound waves the same way that sand reacts to sound. The same way fine sand reacts to sound, creating cymatic patterns. So the reason why music makes us feel the way we feel is because when these sound waves hits our body, it's sprouts, and it opens up emotions, and it opens up feelings and neurons and nerves that are closed and locked and inaccessible. And so we just feel a lot more connected to we just feel a lot more connected as humans. We just feel a lot more open and emotional, and just am I trying to explain how music feels to you? You understand what I'm trying to say? Obviously, music is this alien thing that we fucking created, that we fucking discovered. I don't even know how it started. I don't even, I've actually never really read about the history of music and how we humans created music. But if I'm going to guess, I'm going to guess that maybe one time when humans were still savages, right? Or let's say when humans were still at because when humans were still at the late stage of savagery, because like I've said before, um we have three stages of hum, hum, we have three stages of growth or progress. So from savagery we entered barbarism, and from barbarism we entered civilization. So each stage has three levels: the early stage of savagery, the middle stage, and then the late stage. And then we have the early stage of barbarism, the middle stage, and the late stage. And then we have the early stage of civilization, and we are currently in the like the fucking middle stage of civilization. If we don't destroy ourselves, we might get to the late stage and then evolve into transition into something else. So, but let's say at the late stage of savagery, right, when we were now able to use tools, and beginning we started hunting and gathering, right? We now started forming, having this tribe and forming a community, and we now realize that sticking together would guarantee a successful hunt, right? So probably one time like that, just one time. Maybe here are two theories that I'm guessing might have happened. We One of the leaders of the hunters of the hunt, one of the leader of the hunt may have had may have, let me say, just randomly created this call that would alert the rest of the group to an animal. And this call would have been kind of let's assume that it just happened to be melodic, right? And so now the hunt was successful, and everybody has meat to eat for the rest of the night, and so everybody is happy, right? And so this ancestor might have, let's say, made that sound again, and now made it over and over and over. And then it's because obviously beats in music, are usually repetitive, right? So now we have something that is repetitive and melodic, and everybody, and it now makes everybody to feel this strange way, couple feel this strange way because they are happy and because they have food to eat and they have fire to keep them warm and safe, right? So that might have been, this is the only theory I actually have. I don't the second theory I was thinking about makes absolutely no sense at all, but that might have been the way that music, the earliest form of music, um, may have um, may have come into play. So, and then from there it starts like evolving. Obviously, now we don't only have hunters anymore. We don't only have like sentries that look out for danger. People that people that are able to create chants and able to create tom toms that can hype the rest of the group up and keep them happy and make them pumped up for their next hunt. And from there we evolve, we like fucking grow, and now we have like a tribe. And from there we have war music, like we all have music that will pump us up to get ready for war. And then we have music that whenever we win the war, or whenever we're successful on the hunt, and also coupled with the fact that we're as ignorant as folk, at, as ignorant as can be, um, we are beginning to believe in spirits, and we're beginning to believe in omens, and so we give penance, not only with the not only with part of our kill and our not only with part of our kill and our captive, but also with these chants and these. So now we're now entering into the realm of quote unquote gospel music, because whatever chants that you give to gospel music is basically chanting to to your deity, right? So it's the same thing with these early men. So now we're entering into the realm of gospel music, and then as kingdoms start to sprout and empires start to rise, and we have kings and emperors, obviously these people would want to be entertained and stuff like that. And so now we have people that, bro, I'm just trying to like create a picture, a timeline of how music went from its earliest form to how it's currently is. Oh, bro, holy shit! I thought I was not recording. Holy fuck, man! I thought I've been talking for like how many minutes now? 38 minutes now, and I was not recording. I feel mad, man. I feel mad. So I'm glad I'm recording. Let me check again. All right, yeah, I'm recording. All right. So anyway, I was just trying to like create this scenario, and yeah. So music makes us feel some type of way, and imagine what life would have been like if we didn't have music. It would have been dreary. I mean, no, it would. I think it's virtually impossible if music did. It's. I don't think life would be. I don't think life would exist without music. Right, life on planet Earth would exist without music, because humans are not the only animals that fucking sing. Birds sing too, and uh fishes, what dolphins, yeah, dolphins sing too. Like, humans are not the only animals that sing. So I don't think music would be something. I don't think that humanity or life would be plausible if music did not exist. Now, now, based on that, to follow that train of thought, right? What, like, I've asked this question before, but I didn't really like give it a deep thought, right? We are obviously not the only life forms on this planet, in this universe. Obviously, like, if there is even a 1% chance that there's life on other planets, like we've made the calculation before, right? If there's even a 1% chance, let's say let's say that there are 100,000 planets like in our galaxy. So like we have planets, we have planets, which is planet Earth, and then we have solar system, and we have like 9 planets in our solar system, with the primary star being our sun, and then we have the galaxy, and our own galaxy is called like the Milky Way galaxy, and then we have the universe, the observable universe, right? So this is how they are graded and categorized: planets, solar system, galaxy, universe, observable universe. So let's say that there is a 1% chance that in our galaxy, right? That there's a 1% chance that there is what's it called, life life like we humans, or life like on planet Earth in our galaxy. And our galaxy is filled with like billions of billions of stars, and those stars obviously have planets orbiting around them, right? So let's say that like I've said this before, so let me just brush through it. Let's say there is like a 1% chance that um uh that there is a life on one of these planets, right? So what is 1% of 1 billion? Is that like 10 million or 100 million? Let's let's look it up. What is 1% of 1 billion? That is fucking yeah, 10 billion. I was right. 1% of 1 billion is 10 million. So that leaves 10 million planets, 10 million entire planets where we have life on, like guaranteed. This is mathematically guaranteed that even if there is a 1% chance that there is life, like 1% chance that there's, even if like it's a 0.5% chance, that still leaves like 5 million planets, bro. That's crazy, man. So my question continues to be, what do they have on these other planets that can be compared to what we have on our planets, being music? Like, what do they have on these planets that can make them feel what music, or can make them feel how music makes us feel, or let's say can make them feel how soccer makes us feel, like how sports makes us feel? What would they have on these their planets that would bring them together, that will unify them the way music and sports and arts unifies us? Like, just try to think of it. Like, for example, first of all, the 10 million aliens on their different planets would have to be intelligent, right? Quote unquote intelligent, the way we humans, there would have to be an species, apex intelligent species in every single one of these planets. And so the apex intelligent species on our planet is obviously we humans, right? So there would have to be intelligent life form on these planets, and so these intelligent life forms would have to have something. I mean, for life forms to exist and thrive and progress and get to the point where they are able to explore their, not only their own solar system but their entire galaxy, they would have to be so unified. They would have to work so. They would have to be so in tune with one another, because, so okay, let me say something. Like, there is this theory, right, where there is this theory where okay, there is this question: if there are life forms on other planets, why is it that we have never found, like, basically, why is it that we have not found aliens, right? Why is it that it's very difficult for us to find aliens? And the answer to that question is, imagine imagine like you're in a how can I even imagine that you're like in a very big fucking large room, right? Very big fucking large room in the dark, and your friends are you're trying to look for your friends, right? Oh, no, 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 not even a very big large room. Imagine that you're in a fucking stadium, like say you are like a musical concert, right? And then you lose your friends, and you're now trying to like look for your friends, and in the whole noise, like the whole rowdiness and the whole like chaos of this concert, you're trying to yell out the name of your friends, right? You're trying to yell and like try to like get their attention. It's not going to be possible because your voice, the sound coming from your voice from your mouth would obviously be drowned by the louder music, right? Or let's say you're trying to, I don't know, this is not the best analogy for it, but I'm trying to like create the best analogy I can with. So, but what I'm trying to say is that the technology that we humans have, that we are using to try to look for life forms on other planets, is so limited and so far behind that it's not really good enough for it's not really good enough for to use to look for life forms on other planets. I understand that we have the Hubble space telescope. I also understand that we've sent Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, and they've gone they're the farthest things they're the farthest things that humans have created. They're the farthest things humans have created away from our planet. Like they're so far away from us that you understand understand what I mean. So, and I also understand that we have robots on Mars, and then we also have thousands of satellites spread across our planet, and then we have the James Webb Space Telescope, right? Like one of the craziest telescopes that has, in fact, not even one of the craziest telescope that has ever been invented by man. I understand that we have that, but all of these things that we have, right? They're not. I mean, the James Webb Space Telescope is like is so fucking brilliant that it can look into the past. Do you know what it means to be able to look into the past? Like the what I mean by looking into the past is that obviously light is light takes time to reach us. Like for example now, the light from the sun takes about 8 minutes to get um to the earth, right? If something happens to the sun right now and the sun were to go dark, it will take 8 minutes for we humans to notice it, because the light that is reaching you right now from the sun left the sun, the photons actually. What I'm trying to say is that the photons of light that is on your body right now, if it's daytime wherever you are, left the sun 8 minutes ago. And in 8 minutes, like 8 minutes from now, you're going to receive new photons coming from the sun. So the James Webb Space Telescope is so fucking brilliant that it's able to look into the past, in the sense that when the Big Bang happened, right, when there was this explosion of everything that has ever been imagined, and everything just spread. Obviously, when the universe was in its young stage, uh, let's say four billion years ago, or so let me say 13 billion years ago. Sorry, there were obviously more. There were obviously stars and planets and gases and all of that, and these things were able to emit light. And so, basically, what the James Webb Space Telescope is doing, because do you know that the light that you see, like I explained before, it takes like 8 minutes for the light from the sun to get to our planet, the Earth. Do you know that the light that you see from the stars, from distant stars, what you're looking at, when you look at stars in the sky, like in the night sky, right? What you're looking at is basically the past. it is very possible that the star that you're looking at is already dead. Like this is how crazy space is. And this is why I love space. Like it's very, very possible and plausible that the star that you're actually looking at in the night sky is actually dead. And you're presently seeing how it used to be in the past. Like in the present, you're looking at what used to exist in the past. That's mad. That's wild. So what the James Webb Space Telescope does is that it's it looks at stars. It captures their light and looks at how they used to be and how they used to look like and what they used to do when they were alive. Like I mean, you're dipping into the past and learning from it in real time. That's mental, man. That's great. That's one of the greatest achievements of humanity. That's one of humanity's greatest feats, man. To be able to look into the past and just determine what, and not even determine, and see what used to happen in the past. That's basically what the James Webb Space Telescope is. So regardless of how quote unquote technologically advanced we humans are, regardless of how technologically advanced we think our things, our technology is, it's not yet still enough to be able to like call or search for other potentially advanced civilizations and find them. Like it's not enough to have Voyager 1 and 2. It's not enough to have thousands of satellites like littered all over our planet. It's not enough to have the Hubble Space Telescope. It's not enough to have the ISS. It's not enough to have robots on Mars. It's not enough to have the James Webb Space Telescope. We're still lacking behind, and it's going to take like years for us to be able to like get to the point where we can. I don't know. See, I'm just the like a normal you person, like a normal person on this. I don't know what NASA has found. I don't know what they're hiding from us. I don't know what they're keeping or they don't want us to like find, or because like there is this joke, right? Like this joke that this comedian said one time. He's a father and he does not tell his kids. He lies to his kids all the time. So it's literally understandable if NASA lies to us. Like, why would they tell us whatever it is that they're doing, right? So let's just assume that they have not found aliens. Let's just assume that they have not found aliens because they may have probably found and they just don't want to tell us, right? But let's just assume that they've not found. The reason is because we don't have the technology able to look for aliens, right? And like keep it, like be able to like hail them or whatever. So yeah, this is the reason why we are not able to find aliens, because of we are still far behind. And so going back to my former point, um if the reason why aliens would even be able to be found, right, would be if they are civilized. What I'm trying to say essentially, like, just to cut the long story short, what I'm trying to say is that um there cannot be any there cannot be any violent intelligent civilization, right? Because there is this theory that apex like for example, now there's this what is the theory called, the forest, I don't know if it's called the forest theory, where obviously there are so many animals in the forest, right? And so there has to be one apex predator in the forest that every other animal fears. So it's kind of following the same thing with the universe, like this vast dark universe, right? There are billions of planets in the universe, and so not all of them would be equal, right? Not all of them would be equal because the universe, like we as the observable universe, the universe itself, our universe, in case there are other potential multiverses, but our universe is 13 billion years old. We all know that. And um for it to be 13 billion years old, right? Let's assume that there are some planets that didn't have any. For example, okay, let me just make my point. Let's assume that there are some planets that didn't have any catastrophic events that happened to them, and they just once these planets were formed, and then there was life forms on them. These life forms didn't have any like cosmic catastrophe. They didn't have any object, as in they didn't have any, what is it called, uh what is the word now, there was no like a slow down, nothing like stopped them from evolving, progressing naturally, and then they went on to become so civilized and advanced. Like for example, now on our planet, right? On our planet, 69 million years ago, there was a comet that came and destroyed and hit our planet and then killed off most of the dinosaurs. Why I say most of the dinosaurs is because some dinosaurs survived and then evolved into what we understand to be chickens and crocodiles and komodo lizards, sorry, komodo dragons and some birds. I'm sure we all know that like some chickens are actually dinosaurs. I don't know. I don't know if you know that, but that's actually true. Chickens are dinosaurs. So not all dinosaurs died. So yeah, so these comets hit our planets and killed off so many animals, and then helped us to begin our own evolution, our own evolutionary process and progress. So, but let us assume that this thing that happened, and then this actually slowed us down, like slowed us down by 69 million years. But let's assume that there was no comets, right? And then let's assume that somehow, in some way, dinosaurs. I don't know if you've seen that new episode of Rick and Morty where dinosaurs actually came back to planet Earth and they were so intelligent. Let's assume that that's what happened. That there was never a fucking comets that hit the planet and made them to like go extinct, and so dinosaurs went on to become evolved and sentient and technologically advanced. Let's say something like that happened on other planets, right? And so now these planets, based on the Kardashev scale, where that ranks how civilized a planet is, based on their based on how much energy they produce and how much energy they're able to consume, and how they get this energy, right? The Kardashev scale. Based on all of this planet is more obviously advanced than us, right? Um, it cannot be violent, basically, based on this dark forest theory. The theory is called the dark forest theory, where there's an apex predator that every other animal is scared of, and then they avoid. And this apex theory actively hunts down every other animal. So the dark forest theory is that there is this assumption that there is an apex civilization, like the best of the best. Just imagine. I don't know if you've watched what's the name of this anime? I don't know if you've watched Invincible, right? The yeah, Invincible. The I've forgotten the name of the planets. The where Omni Man is from, like the planet where Omni Man is from. Let's just assume that it's Krypton, like the best of the best, the most advanced civilization, the most advanced planet. That they are number 4 on the Kardashev scale, and so they actively hunt, because of how civilized they are. They actively hunt down every other civilization and like takes them out, like what happens in what happens in Invincible. In actual reality, that cannot be possible, and let me tell you why. The reason why that cannot be possible is because why would a civilization that is that violent, like I don't think that any violent civilization would want to work together, because they are already violent towards, first of all, they would have to be violent towards each other, right? And so um there would be a mutually assured destruction if they if because of their violence, basically. And so they will not be able to evolve to the point where they can now like take to the skies and then like and then start exploring their galaxy or their solar system or whatever. It's not possible. It's just um objectively and realistically not possible. What I'm trying to say is that let me just give you one example, like the I'm sure you watch Star Wars, right? So like the I forgot what they're called, like the the dark side, like the bad guys in Star Wars. That cannot be possible because um violence leads to destruction. At the end of the day, violence, all road that violence takes leads to destruction. The only way that progress can the only way that progress is possible is if there is peace and if there is unity and if there is a sense of community and a sense of togetherness, right? So that is the only way that progress can be possible. If we humans, right, continue to fight ourselves and continue to be destructive towards ourselves and we continue to be hateful towards ourselves and continue to be spiteful and bitter and hateful, we will never progress to the point where we can graduate from 0.75% on the Kardashev scale to at least one at least stage one of the Kardashev on the Kardashev scale. We can never get to that point. The only way that we can get to that point is if we obviously work together. So what I'm trying to say is that there cannot be any there can never there is not just realistically possible for there to be a hostile civilization, for there to be a civilization that speaks true to the dark forest theory. Does not make any sense. So what then, to go back to my original question, what then would would these civilization, like what can they have that can be equated to that can be equated to music and sports on our own planet? I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to like imagine what that can be, because I would because because then again I would like to know if what they have that we can equate to music and sports on our planet, if it can affect us the way it affects them, and if also our own what we also have here being music and sports can also affect them the way it affects us. You understand? Like for example, is it possible for when we eventually find aliens, right? Is it possible for us to be able to interact and be able to communicate? Because you have to understand that what we understand, what this basic, let me say, picture that we have painted for ourselves and we've tried to like describe as aliens, or we've tried to imagine how aliens would look like these humanoid images that we've created, and we've imagined that is how aliens are going to look like, might not be the case, because on our planet we breathe in oxygen. We humans, mammals basically, breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, right? Who used to say that on other planets, let's say the aliens that live on those planets, who used to say that they might, if at all there is even oxygen on that planet or even carbon dioxide on that planet, who used to say that they would not be breathing in, or who used to even say that they might even have noses to breathe? I mean, bees don't have nose. Bees communicate through pheromones. So who used to say that these other aliens on these 10 million other planets would have would look like us, would be like us, would like follow the same principles of reality or principles of physics and biology and chemistry that we follow? Like, who used to say that that would be the possibility of how these aliens realities would look like? It's mental, because like they say, variety is the spice of life, right? Life would be absolutely unbearably boring if everything was uniformed on our planet. Like for example, now we like to hate on people who like have a different taste, who have different tastes from us, ranging from food to music to mode of dressing to sexuality to sexual interests to even as far as religion. So we like to clown on people who are different from us. But at the end of the day, it would be boring if everybody is like the same. I understand that our differences um, creates conflict sometimes, right? Our differences in our worldview creates conflict sometimes. But at the end of the day, variety is what spices life. So it's the same thing with what aliens uh, might potentially look like on their own planet. We walk on land. Who used to say that there are not aliens that swim in fucking air or swim in gas or like? I mean, it's difficult to conceptualize. It's difficult to just like grasp how these things can be, but that's basically what life is. And who is to say that the way we understand life on our own planet will be the same way that these aliens might understand life? So when we now finally are able to, let's say, find aliens, right? How are we going to communicate with them? How are we going to like be able to approach them? Who is to say that when we wave at aliens, it might not be something they find insulting? Let's say you're waving at somebody or you're trying to like shake an alien the same way you shake someone and when you're trying to greet the person, and then in their own civilization it might be you saying, I'm going to fuck your mother in the ass. It might be the equivalent of you saying, I'm going to rape your 6-year-old daughter and fuck you and kill all your family. Who is that cannot be a possibility? So the best way I think that a an intelligent civil that I the best way I think two intelligent civilizations can communicate with each other is through, believe it or not, mathematics. Now, for you to be intelligent, for you to be an intelligent civilization, you obviously know how to navigate not only your planets, your solar system also, and your galaxy, right? And you obviously know about science. I mean, it obviously cannot be religion because who would that help? So for you to know about science, that means you must have some form of concept of numbers. Numbers, you have to know that you have to be able to discern what units are. You have to be able to know that this one single apple on this table is one apple. If you add another one and now there are two apples, you have to be able to know how to add and subtract and multiply and divide and conceptualize and imagine and do things that are crazy. Like you have to be able to know the basic concepts of mathematics, because mathematics is actually the language of the universe. It's not English, it's not fucking religion, it's not. Mathematics is the basic language of the universe. In fact, um on the Voyager space program, right, where the Voyager 1 and 2, like I talked about before, were sent into space. The what is his name? Carl Sagan, like this famous scientist called Carl Sagan. He convinced he came. They were like, the reason why the Voyager was sent into space is to actually look for life forms. Like the reason why it was sent into space is for that to increase the potential of meeting another life form on Earth, on in space. Sorry. And so what they put into the Voyager were coordinates, mathematical coordinates, not written in actual human numbers, like the way our own human numbers are written, but written in the form of dots. Like one dot will depict the unit of one, two dots will depict the unit of two, and so they were written in a way that this potential intelligent life form would be able to understand. And also, then there is the picture of um there is a picture of our planets, right? But the mistake there is that who is to say that this intelligent life form would would see pictures and understand pictures the way we humans see and understand pictures. Like for example now, our eyes are only able to see three to see different variations of three forms of light, three forms of color, like red, green, and blue, right? That our eyes are able to see three spectrums of color, different variations of the spectrums of primary colors. So, but who is to say that this is going to be the same with this potential fucking intelligent life form? So that's one mistake. But the what they got right was how they depicted numbers in the numbers that they put on the Voyager 1. And then also also put um they also put fucking they put hello, the word hello, in so many different languages. And then they also put pictures of humans from all races and all walks of life. And then they put some sounds, and then they put the images of man and woman, and then they put the image, and then they put pictures of some animals, so that so that if this intelligent life form is able to like find the code, is able to read the coordinates of where our planet is on our solar system, sorry, on our in our not solar system, in our galaxy, and then able to use the picture that it's looking at on this space fucking spacecraft, and then find our planet, and then comes to our planet and is able to observe us and see. It's going to like connect the dots basically. So mathematics is the language of the universe, and mathematics is the best way that two intelligent civilizations can be able to communicate. But then how are they going to like, I don't know if you've seen this movie Arrival, where the movie is about where this alien civilization comes to Earth, and then they're trying to like communicate with us Earthlings, Earthlings, and tell us that there is something coming like in 300 years time. So spoiler alert if you've not seen the movie, but it's a very intelligently produced and designed movie, because the aliens are not here to like kill us like the way contemporary alien themed movies are. No, they're not here to kill us. They're actually here to like inform and teach us. So the way the humans in the movie were able to try to interact with the aliens, because their own form of writing in the aliens is entirely different. Obviously they're aliens, so their own way of life is going to be different from us. That is just what I've been trying to say for how many hours now, for more than an hour now, that the aliens are going to be different. Why am I just ranting about aliens like this? So the aliens are going to be obviously different from us. Yeah. So so if we are going to be able to communicate with this intelligent civilization, right, then we would need like very intelligent linguistic engineers and scientists and lecturers and stuff, the same way it happened in the movie. That's basically how I think it's going to happen. So if you're an alien and you're somehow listening to this, if our reality is actually a simulation, and I am being controlled by a cosmic being doing this podcast right now, can you please like tell your body, who is probably also controlling some intelligent alien somewhere in some other galaxy, to come to our Milky Way galaxy, so that we can be able to figure out what both civilizations like, and what brings us together the most, so that we can like share this share these things and also like fucking evolve and also like progress and also communicate and be one and be merry and stuff like that. So if this is actually a simulation, can whoever is controlling me relay this message to whoever is controlling any other random civilization, please? Can that happen? I would like that very much. I would want to understand, I would want to know if there is something like music and arts and sports that we humans enjoy a lot, that I would like to know if any other fucking civilization has something like that, and I would like to experience it. I would like to experience such a thing. So yeah, that's that about that. The World Cup is finally over. Not like not I'm not saying finally over because it's like I'm not saying finally over because maybe I've been bummed out by it or something. No, it's just I'm just saying finally over because it's finally over, and maybe people can now start looking into the dark side of the World Cup, the dark side of FIFA, and the dark side of this fucking country called Qatar. And then maybe now people can like catch their breaths and like come back to their senses and like really, really look into these fucking people, man, that fucked a lot of people up just to make this World Cup impossible. Not that the World Cup was bad anyway. Of course, I've heard that it's actually it's actually the best World Cup that has taken place in a long time. And yeah, so yeah, that's why I said finally over. Finally over in that sense, because France France took the second. They won the last time, right? The World Cup that took place 4 years ago. It was France that won. Why? It's like leave it for somebody else to win now. I'm glad that they even lost self. So yeah, the World Cup is over, and Messi is the new god now. He's like he's the most talked about person in the world right now. So he's basically a god in my books. So yeah, congratulations to them. Congratulations to the winners, and congratulations to whoever supported them. It was cool. It was cool. So yeah, that's that about that for today. Thank you guys for listening to. Thank you guys for listening to me rant about aliens and music and sports and fucking dinosaurs and shit like that. Sorry about that. Today was a good day. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me, and don't forget to like follow me on Twitter and follow me on my social medias, and so that you can be able to interact with me and let me know what you think about every episode that I push out, and let me know your thoughts and your opinions and stuff like that. And yeah, follow me on Twitter, General Prime One, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye everybody.